Episode 607 of the Working Class Bowhunter podcast. A lot of things happen in the intro before we're actually live on the show. Kurt Geyer speaking.
Doug Schmidt.
Eric is absent. Ross is absent. Austin's absent. And I don't know if it has to do with the guest this week.
I don't think it's a coincidence.
Scott Bakken, Dialed Archery.
Yeah.
What's up, dude?
Same old, same old.
Why did everybody bail?
Like I said, it can't be a coincidence. I mean, I thought last time we did this, we had a good time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did. I had a great time.
Maybe I was the only one that had a good
Well,
time.
this is what
No,
I
I had a
learned.
great time.
Pull the mic just closer to you a little bit. You know what I realized? You can move it around. Get aggressive with her. I didn't realize this until we were walking over to the depot. That last time we were here is when Eric ate the chip, or last time you were here is when Eric.
That was a Pacquiao chip challenge.
Yeah, so that's probably why Eric didn't show up.
Yeah,
again.
maybe that's why he didn't come.
Terrified.
Yeah.
Dude, it's crazy out
PTSD.
here.
Yeah.
Dude, what's new? What's going on with Dialed? How you been? How's everything? How's life? How's your dog? How's hunting been? A lot to cover.
Good.
Get
good,
into it.
Good sucks.
Okay, the hunting was last. The hunting sucks. Okay.
Yeah, hunting's been tough, but that's kind of par for the course for me. So
Yeah, I mean it happens.
I think it does, but when it happens like over and over and over again, like that's not a coincidence.
It's a pattern.
Like I was saying at dinner, I think like the older I get and like the more I hunt whitetails, the like worse I get at it.
Do you enjoy hunting whitetails less?
No, because I mean whitetails, like I mean that's like my roots, right? Like I think it's just I don't have the time to dedicate to whitetails like I used to, and like we were talking earlier, like it's been a long time since I've actually like had a piece of ground that I could like take the time to dissect and like truly learn. Where now, because my time to hunt is so limited, it's just I want to go hunt. So I'm probably not doing it the right way, right? It's just kind of my best guess, and it's probably not even close to what's like right, you know?
Yeah.
But it's still hunting, which to me, like, you know, it's been actually this is the first time I've whitetail hunted in probably 3 years. So prior to like this year, like I hadn't hunted at all.
Yeah.
So just to be able to get out this year was like huge for me. And I have hunted more this year than I have in like a long time. But with that being said, every time I go out, like I'm learning as I go rather than having all that knowledge ahead of time and then trying to like put the pieces together.
Like years of history with like a deer and all the shit that everybody,
Like it's just kind of like I'm just kind of chasing my tail, I feel like at this point.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
Well,
you know,
dude,
finally
but-
have time. You just gotta get out there.
You know, if someone doesn't know though, like you've been growing a business and all over the place, so it's like it's justified. Like what you're saying makes sense if someone kind of gets what's going on. Like, and kind of leading into that, let's just act like no one's ever heard you or Dialed on the podcast before. Like, what do you do, Scott?
nothing really of value.
What do you do? What's Dialed
all right,
Archery,
yeah.
Scott?
It's funny because like people ask me like, yeah, so what's your full-time job? And I'm like, I mean, I have a lot of full-time jobs. I just don't get paid for any of them. But
I'm losing money actually.
yeah, but I mean, that is what happens, right? Like it's any like entrepreneur, like business owner has been there where you're starting a new business. And at first it's kind of like, it's a lot of work to get it started, but it's not consuming like every minute of your day. But then once you get it going and it starts growing, that's where the time suck comes.
Yeah.
Right. And so that's where we're at now. You know, we're going into our third year. This year has just blown away our expectations. So, I mean, we're busier than shit right now. Like, especially coming off of these last couple of weeks with all the new bow launches and, you know, now word is finally out about Dialed and doing all the traveling that I did this summer and, you know, like Taylor and Jordan with all their marketing efforts, like the name's out there now. Right. So now is when like we are busy and it truly feels like there's just not enough time in the day.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like I'm trying to learn that like you can only get so much done in one day and like you have to have time away from work, right? I mean, we all got into like you guys doing your own podcast, like me and Taylor and Jordan starting our own business. so we can enjoy the things we like to do more. It's just right now that time is very limited.
Yeah.
So
And it'll get better and better as things fall into place.
And it will. And, you know, going into this, I knew I was like the first couple of years not hunting, watching everybody else get to hunt. It sucked, but at the same time, like I was okay with it. Like having that little bit of break, it was actually kind of like I almost kind of welcomed it.
Mm-hmm.
Because
so you also understood like what it was going to take to like make Dialed successful.
Yeah.
And that's a sacrifice where
you have to make sacrifices.
And you're hunting, right? You know?
Well, I mean, both, I mean, just with your personal time and I mean, financially alone, but just, with your time, you know?
And it's also like, for the ladies out there, it's hard to date an entrepreneur. It's hard to like, friendships are, dude, everything kind of gets beat down when you're trying to like grow something, or you're like legitimately an entrepreneur and hustling a passion project or whatever it is.
Mm-hmm.
When you're everything suffers around you.
Yeah, I mean,
for some amount of time.
Well, anyway. So I mean, that opens up like a whole like huge conversation, because it's not just like in relationships, right? But it's also like your friends. Mm-hmm. You know, like how much shit I get from my buddies because they want to go out on a Friday night and
just get fucked up for no reason,
or have a couple beers. I'm like, man, I'd love to, but like my day's not done yet. Like every day I have a list of things that I have to get done that day, because if I don't, I'll never get them done, because it just keeps compounding, right? It just keeps building. So you never have a break. There is no break.
Yeah.
And
it's just staying afloat kind of.
And like the friends are actually worse than like a significant other, because they don't get it, right? Mm-hmm. Where a lot of, you know, like your partners or whatever, they see what you're putting into it. And if they value you, they'll understand that like it'll pay off in the end.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's easier to say you understand and compared to like actual understanding. Mm-hmm. So like, you know, they want to take a spring break vacation or something. Like I can't, like me taking a week off, impossible. Mm-hmm. Can't do it.
Yeah.
Like, so, I mean, even now, like being down here this week, I'm hunting, but like, even though I'm hanging out with you guys, technically this is still work, right?
Yeah. I mean, you're on on
you're on the clock right now.
Yeah.
You're drinking on the clock.
I mean,
you can do that here.
That's not really
we
different.
One of the few places you can drink and work. Well, all right. So, dude, let's talk about Dialed specifically, and if we want to break off that and talk like life shit, I'm all game for that. But everybody knows you guys. This is my perspective of like been running the sites. Our whole crew's been running the sites. Everybody is attracted to the look. Everyone is. Mm-hmm. Like I think it's the best looking site.
Oh, hands
down.
5
times fold in the game. It's attractive.
I mean, even like look at your computer right now.
Yeah,
like,
up here we got it up on the screen.
Oh, yeah,
like,
sorry.
All these slideshows. This is just on DialedArchery.com's homepage. You want to talk about sexy? That thing good looking, dude.
Attractive.
Mm-hmm. It's just good looking. Everything
Sleek.
about it's good looking. It's, you know, everything is like
I want to dial it.
Needs to be for a reason. It's a fucking good looking site. And you buy a nice top of the line bow, which a lot of guys that listen spend the money on a top of the line bow. You want to put top of the line shit on a top of the line bow, and this thing just is built to match it. So, okay, the look, right? Everybody knows the look. It's attractive. It's appealing. People
There's no
want
denying
it for
what
the
it
look.
is when you see it.
But in the working class bow hunters group, I see a lot of these comments in the group. They'll say, "I love the way a Dialed looks, but what beyond the look would be worth it for me?"
Yeah.
Because a lot of guys, they don't know what's in it. What features does it have? They see that on the outside, and it's like a pretty girl. Like, yeah, she's hot, but what's up with her?
Right.
That's
right. Why is she still single?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. What's up? Yeah. She into witchcraft, Doug?
Yeah.
What's going on?
Whatever. As long as you don't shrink my head, you know. But so I mean, that's obviously like in the beginning, you know, when we started Dialed, we saw a void in this particular category, right? Like there's a lot of really good sites out there that have been there for a long time, but it just, all of them, like they were good, but they weren't great, right? And it was just always kind of like monkey see, monkey do, like same type of like look, same type of function.
Almost cookie cutter to a point.
Pretty much, right? And I mean, there's only so much you can do, because a site is a site. Like it's a sighting system, right? Like it's you just need something to aim with. But when we started Dialed, like one, we wanted to create a site that looked sexy, right? It wasn't just a site. We wanted it to look like it was part of the bow, not an accessory. Like it literally looked like it was like the riser and the sight were all machined out of one. So that's where the aesthetics came from. Like, let's make this thing sexy as hell, but then let's also make it functional. And, you know, like our slogan that we use all the time is, you know, built on purpose. Like everything that we put into the site, there was a reason for it. And it wasn't to like we have to do this to make this work, or we have to do this to do everything that's there's a reason for it. Right. So it was a site designed for hunters by hunters. Like, and that is one thing, like I was on the phone with one of our customers yesterday, and he asked about like us coming out with a target site and stuff. And it's not that that's never going to happen, but that's just not who we are. Like we're hunters, and you know, we kind of catch some shit sometimes because we're all Midwest based, and it's like, oh, you guys are just whitetail hunters. And it's like, well, yeah, that's our core, but
the core of, that's where most bow hunters live. I mean, that's like whitetails.
I mean, but if you look at like the demographics, like whitetail hunters are the dominant like hunters.
There's
right?
more
like,
whitetail hunters than any ever hunter in the country.
We wanted to make a site that, you know, whether you're a weekend warrior or you're a dude or a person that wants to up their game and just truly like run the best setup that you can, we wanted to make a site for that. So, you know, I never say our site is better than anybody else's because they're all good. But
like you said, to a point, it's an aiming
exactly
system. Yeah.
Like it's an adjustable site, but and obviously I'm a little biased, but I can 100% with confidence say I can give you an Arxos and it's going to benefit you. Like it's not just going to be a site, like you are actually going to benefit from running that site. And whether it's having, you know, a clear scope housing, you know, site picture, extending your range, you know, easier operation, less parts, more durable. Like the site, I mean, it was meant to take a beating, but then it also looks cool.
Yeah.
So
pretty, you know, and functional.
And that's like,
unlike most, I was going dark with it. I saved it. I was going to say, oh, never mind. Just keep it. Sorry.
So yeah,
never mind. Fuck me, right?
And regardless of,
sorry, Doug,
you know, especially us guys who, you know, we think we're these like macho guys and stuff. It's so funny how many guys like we talk to where they do care about the look.
You have to care about the look. Dude, it's important. I don't care what anybody says.
It's no different than like a gun or a truck, right? It's a product of who you are and like, kind of your personality, right?
Yeah.
So like, you know, if you ever climb into a buddy's truck and it's just a total clusterfuck, right? Like it doesn't look like they've cleaned it in a decade. Like anytime I jump in somebody's truck like that, I'm like, what does your house look like?
Yeah.
Right? Like you judge people based on it. So it's kind of the same thing with like hunting equipment. Like if you see a dude running a rifle and it's like rusty as shit, like, you know, doesn't look like it's been taken care of.
Old
like,
brush gun.
Yeah. Like you don't take care of your stuff. Like archery equipment is the exact same way. You know, if it looks good, you feel good.
Oh,
you know, like,
well, it's the same thing with clothing, man. Like,
I wasn't going to say that, but
look good, feel good.
100%.
It is
right?
hunting clothing.
Your confidence is higher when you look good and feel good.
Plus, dude, with the new bows, like that elite, tell me that color, that midnight copper, that's so fucking sick. I want a sight that looks good on it.
That's the first time I've ever seen that.
In person,
that is a sexy color.
It's a beauty.
Get you on camera taking a long, hard gander at that, just so people can see the color. But
yeah,
it's just a pretty color. Now, any dialed sight is going to look good on there, you know, unless it's complete clash of colors. But like you run a black frame, that thing would still be sexy as hell on there. You
don't even know what you're supposed to do with this thing.
Just take it in, baby.
Yeah. That's what they look like, huh?
Nice. But yeah, it's like you get a bow like this, you don't want to just like get something from Walmart
and throw it on
and
there.
rip it on there. You know, it's like, yeah, check it out.
Well, and I mean, everybody
sight.
has, you know, different tastes, different needs. So, I mean, that's why there's so many options out there. But, you know, for our company, we never wanted to be like everybody else. Like we knew we were going to be a niche product, a niche company. Like we did not build a site for everybody. Like it is a very select group of people that like having high quality stuff, but also understand kind of like the techiness and can appreciate like the outside the box thinking.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And
Like appreciate the design.
yeah. And because it is, even though it is an adjustable sight, just like everybody else's, it is different. Like it is completely different.
So let's talk about some of the specifics with the site, because now that we're getting into that tail end of archery season, now people are like, oh, after this season, I'll look into some new equipment. So people that are looking, it's like, one thing I like is like, obviously, how custom you can make your colors and your setup and stuff. You know, do you want your tape on the inside of the frame or the outside of the frame?
Love that.
And I wasn't sure when I first got an arc, so how I ordered inside, and I was unsure how I would like it. In practice, I'm like, maybe I should have gone outside. But in a hunting situation, I'm always looking. I'm holding it with my left hand, always looking at the inside of my bow where the tape is. And I'm like, it's the best. I like inside, personally.
So I would say 98% of the sites that we build are inside tape.
Really?
And the 2% that want outside eventually switch to inside. And one, because, you know, there's been inside tapes done before, but they always were vertical tapes, right?
Oh, yeah.
There's never been
Like a slider style.
right, like a vertical slider.
Yeah.
There's never been a site that did a dial system with an inside tape. And obviously, you know, when we launched dialed, it was right when like the inline systems, you know, with Hoyt and Matthews were launching. So we knew that was kind of like the future of bow designs as far as mounting.
Yeah.
Because for years, it's always been trying to get like everything in line, right? And that's not like a new concept. I mean, there was a bow company like 20 years ago that had that whole system. It was just before its time. But knowing that, that's why we designed it to have the inside tape.
Yeah.
But even for the people like with Elite, right, that doesn't utilize an inline system, even if you are mounting the sight to the outside of the riser, it's much more natural to view the tape from the inside when you're holding the bow versus having to look on the outside,
Yeah,
especially if you're running like a quiver attached.
And I do.
to
I
it.
shoot with the quiver on. Do
Right.
you, Doug?
I do not.
I do not either. But so full disclosure, when we were designing the site, and between Jordan Taylor, who are also the other owners of Dialed, and then our two engineers, Kyle and TJ, and they pitched the idea of having the tape on the inside. I was like, that's the stupidest fucking idea ever. Like, I'm like,
Wasting your time.
I was like, that's dumb. Like, everybody's so used to the outside tape. Like, this is not going to work. And I did not want to like it. And
You're like resisting it.
I did, because I thought it was a dumb idea. But then our first prototype, which that's a whole nother, you know, conversation. But, you know, Taylor and I had stayed up like our first batch of prototype parts, like real aluminum parts. We sat in the loft of his house till like 3 a.m. with Dremel tools, like cutting parts to get them to fit together. And then the next morning we went out and shot, and it was, I mean, I think I put 3 arrows in Taylor's tree in his front yard, but I was like, I hate this inside tape. I hate it. But now I could not imagine going back.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think I could, because one, I'm used to it now, but it is a much more efficient way to look at a tape.
Okay, so let's talk about this then. While we're on the tape and like everything like that, let's talk about these.
Pins?
Are you calling them pins?
We call them multi-intercadal needles.
So, well, pins.
Mins. We call them mins.
Mins? All right.
So, why don't you explain that a little bit for someone who's like, what?
Yep. So the multi-indicator needles were put in place for anybody that's running, because the one thing with our site is you can buy it as a complete site, or you can buy it as a frame only, meaning you can attach somebody else's housing to it. So
Like on the rail.
on the frame. So
On the frame.
like right at the third axis knuckle on the windage assembly, that's where you could disconnect and attach somebody else's more to your right.
Here.
Yeah, right there.
Yep.
So that's the third axis knuckle. So that screw, if you pull that screw out, that whole mag housing will pop off the windage assembly.
Gotcha.
So, you know, with like the popularity of like, you know, UV, you know, scopes, like true multiple pin, you know, scopes, being able to adjust your pins, then you have to have a way of indicating those yardages on your setup tape. So if you ever rotate the dial, if you just left the dial fixed, you're good, right? Like you're basically running it like a fixed pin sight. But once you adjust your dial, all your yardages change. So we had to have a way to mark those yardages even as you rotated the dial. So with our housing, because it is on a vertical post, and we offer either a stub XR post, which is 2 pins, or our 3V system, which is 3 pins on a single post. The pins aren't adjustable. They're fixed.
Yes.
But like on our 3V, we've set it to where it's about 15 yard increments between each pin. But for everybody's system is different, right? Or setup is different.
Yeah.
So let's say, like for me, my setup is 20, 40, and I think it's like 57 or something like that.
Almost exactly what mine was.
So, but that, which is great. Like I like that gap personally, but how I hunt with our 3V is I rotate my dial. So my top pin is 40, because from 40 and under, I can do that hold under. But now with my top pin at 40, my second pin is like 55, and then my bottom pin's like 63. So now with my sight set from at 40 for my top pin, I can shoot from 20 to 63 without ever touching my sight.
Hold on. The top pin.
I rotate the dial. So you have the primary indicator, which is the laser engraved white line. So that's for your top pin, right?
Yep.
And then I have my second needle, my third needle set for my second and third pin.
Yep.
So I rotate my dial to where my primary indicator is at 40. So now my top pin became my 40-yard pin.
Yep.
And then my second pin became, I think it's like 55.
Yep.
And then my third pin is like 63.
Yep.
So
what do you do when you have a deer coming at 20 yards?
I just aim low.
Really? Mm-hmm. Ooh, I feel uncomfortable with that.
I love it. So
Really?
An animal gives you 2 incredibly like super easy aiming points, and that's 2 vertical lines.
Yeah.
So it's way easier to aim at a line than it is a dot. So if it's less than 40, I just put the pin on the belly.
Really? Mm-hmm. I gotta play around with that.
That's how I've shot a single pin pretty much my whole life, and that's how I taught myself. So like hold over and hold under for me is super easy. It's way easier for me to do that than to count pins.
So you practice that on like a 3D target?
All the time.
No
Yep.
shit.
And not even at a 3D target. Like we have a big, like 4 foot by 4 foot range target, and I just tape off like a 6-inch kill zone basically using electrical tape. So at 40, I aim right on, and then as I get closer, then I aim at the bottom tape.
Wow. I had to play with that. I mean,
Yeah.
you know how it shoots, and that's how you know, but you wouldn't want to just be like, oh, I'm going to take his word for it. I heard him on a podcast. Go out and try it.
No,
out
I mean,
like that.
everybody's is different, and there's actually a test you can do it's actually pretty cool, which, I mean, that's a whole nother conversation, but that, in my opinion, is the most efficient way to run a multiple pin setup. Because we hear way more horror stories of people shooting a multiple pin setup and they use the wrong pin. Right.
Yeah. Because you're talking like when there's 5 pins in the
or even
in the housing.
even 3. I mean, it's just like in the heat of the moment, everything happens so fucking fast.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So you're trying to like figure out what the hell is going on in front of you, and then you come to full draw,
and it's like looking through a clusterfuck.
and then you're like, it's so easy to lose track of everything. Where when you have one post, you get a much better target picture, but then like just being able to hold low or right on, I can calculate that really quick rather than being like, okay, he's at, the deer's at 45 yards. Okay, well now, my
1, 2, 3,
my second pin is
4.
35, my bottom pin is 50. What pin do I use?
Yeah.
Right? Okay, now I got to split the pins. Well, that's okay.
Another thought process to
Right.
go through. Yeah, for
So
sure.
that's why, like, especially with whitetail hunting, if I know my shots are going to be like 40 or less, I know I'm going to use my top pin and just compensate for it.
Interesting shit.
But
I never even thought
then
about
let's
that.
say at full draw, like during the rut, and I'm going to shoot a deer at 35, and all of a sudden he takes off. I'm like, okay, now he's like 55-ish. So I make a decision. Either I aim high with my top pin, or I can look at my tape and I can see like, well, shit, my second pin is set at 55, so I'll just aim with my second pin.
Yeah, that's
Right.
already in line
But
on the post.
it's a quick.
Yeah, that makes sense. I played around with the different like dots on the post, right? Would that be the right way to refer to it?
Sure.
So, like, just to kind of like
Yeah.
dumb it down. And it was similar to like what you were saying. Yours was like 20. Yeah, I think 40.
It'll for most bows that shoot anywhere between 280 to 300, it'll be a 20, 30, 45. But it's most consistent between the second and third pin, or the first and second pin. The The third pin is where we see a little bit more variation.
Been arrow weight and all this
There's
stuff.
so many factors. And
Yeah.
I mean, not going into 3 years of this, like I pull my hair out trying to figure the correlation out.
Yeah.
And I can't, because like all three of us could shoot the same draw length, same poundage, same feet per second. But yet our peep heights could be different. Our anchor points are different. Like
a lot add to the equation.
The distance between our peeps to the scope housing are different.
Yeah.
And that has a larger effect on that bottom pin more than it does the top and second.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
So that's where we see a little bit larger spread with that bottom pin, but it will be within 2 to 3 yards of 45.
I got. This is fun. All right, we're talking about yardage and aiming and all this shit right now. I just want to like stay on this part of the Arxos here and kind of stay in this realm.
Or
Then we'll
just
move on.
shoot them at like 4 yards and use all 3 pins.
Yeah, there it is, and it's done.
yeah.
So that kind
Nice.
of goes into what I was about to say. I'm kind of over. I don't know if I fully believe this yet. This is where I'm at today, right now in this moment. I'm kind of over all the long range stuff because I'm breaking down my season. I didn't shoot the furthest whitetail shot I had, initial shot. I shot that my buck twice. I shot him once at 9 yards, once at 17 yards. Both pinwheel shots, by the way. It's fucking sweet. I got it on film. The furthest shot I shot was floppy, and he was 11 yards. Mm-hmm. Like, I didn't need to shoot 80 yards at a whitetail, nor would I ever. And so I'm kind of I think I'm gonna like. Because I go out and I'll practice at 70 yards. And, I went west, so I practice longer range. But everything I'm doing this next season is going to be, and it's fun to shoot long range.
Yeah.
But everything is going to be in that 30 or N is what I'm hoping. And I think I'm just going to and I'm going to I'm basically going to shoot 2 arrow setups this year. And they're going to be, both arrow setups are just going to be absolute fuck you weight. Mm-hmm. Like just shooting just heavy ass missiles at everything. And I think I'm just going to nail down that 40 and in shooting like it's my job.
And just hit them like a brick shit out.
Yeah, like I'm training for a fight. And I'll have 2 sight tape setups for both arrow setups. And I'm just going to go in to just, if you're in 30 yards, you're dying. Mm-hmm. And I'm just going to focus on that and be mentally strong that if you get in my 30-yard personal space, you're going to die.
So, I have a very similar mindset because I've never been a speed guy. I've wanted kinetic energy. I've wanted weight. Like I want to hit hard, but there's different scenarios where that's advantageous and there's different scenarios where that's going to hurt you.
Yeah.
So from a tree stand, like the arc of the arrow doesn't really matter because we're shooting down, right?
Yeah.
So the arrow's never like launching.
Yeah.
But so bringing up out west, like if you're in the mountains in the dark timber hunting elk, you have to watch the arc of your arrow, right? Because there's a lot of low hanging branches and stuff.
Yeah.
So that's where shooting a really, really heavy arrow is going to screw you.
Right. There's more lob.
More lob than you think, right? So
see now, if I was going elk hunting this year, I would have a different thought on it.
Right.
You know?
So that's the beauty is you can run as many different arrow setups as you want to. So like antelope hunting, for example, right?
Yeah.
I would shoot the lightest, flattest shooting arrow I could find, like borderline dry firing, just so I can shoot as flat as possible.
Your bow's just loud as shit.
Doesn't matter. Like antelope generally do not jump a string, right? Not like a whitetail. But with the Arxos, and whether it's inside tape or outside tape, you can utilize the switch tapering and swap those out. So you could run 10 different arrow setups, have 10 different rings.
I got an antelope ring, a mule deer ring, a whitetail ring.
Which one do I have?
Cape buffalo ring.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And then you're never having to resight in. You're just swapping the rings out. And like I even carry, so like whether I'm whitetail hunting or going out west, whatever my tape number is, I get extra tape cards just so I can set up extra tapes with that same tape number on it and keep them in my backpack in case like if I were to drop my bow in the mud or something and something would happen to my
It gets
tape
scratched off or something crazy.
or whatever. I can just swap them out. Right.
That's a pro
You're
tip.
never out of the fight then. So
Yeah.
that's where having that interchangeable ring is like super, super advantageous. But it's fun to also play with different setups. And so now you have that ability. Like it's not such a pain in the ass to have to keep wrapping tapes over tapes or whatever.
Right.
So
right. That's a pro tip, man. Plus too, it's like what you might sight in and just feel good about that, but want to play around with different setups and then, but not be like, oh, I got to re-sight in this thing. And it's just like a pain in the butt. Yeah. You just swap it.
Well,
out
and
go.
especially like, like we were talking about in the beginning, all of our times are valuable. So, like especially, like working class dudes that you're splitting your time between work and family, and you may only have 20 minutes to go shoot your bow, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like most people could probably get a sight sighted in 20 minutes, but just it's a time saver, and if you're a hunter that goes on multiple trips a year, so like for you example,
Yeah.
like you're gonna go hunt elk out west with like a heavy arrow setup, and then in that same trip you're gonna go hunt antelope and you want to shoot a lighter arrow setup.
Yeah.
You're not gonna have time to re-sight in.
No.
So you just swap the dials out or the rings out, and then you're gonna come back here, whitetail hunt, grab your whitetail arrows, just put a different ring on. Like,
Yeah.
you're not having to take up
So slick.
valuable time.
Honestly, I might actually, that'll be a very realistic situation for me because we're going from spring bear up close shots to Africa, which I'm maybe gonna try and shoot some heavy animals. So I'm gonna have a crazy like fuck you arrow setup, and then like a more regulated whitetail setup. But we're talking about doing an antelope hunt in Wyoming, and then I might want to shoot a lighter, more nimble setup
Yeah.
for that. So like realistically, I might have
You're talking three different setups.
yeah.
Yeah.
So, but it's not stressful because I'll just do all my practice work with those arrows and my tapes, and that's just done.
Or even like it doesn't even come down to switching arrow setups, just adjusting the poundage of your bow, right? That's going to
Yeah.
affect your tape. So, if you practice all summer with a lighter poundage, just trying to get back into the swing of things, get your muscles like trained back in or whatever, you're going to shoot a lighter poundage. But then, like I always crank up my poundage a little bit just before hunting season, but not until I'm actually comfortable with it, right?
Yeah.
But even, like one turn on most bows is about 3 to 3.5 pounds. That changes your tape completely.
Yeah, for sure.
Right. So, it's not a black and white like scenario, but being able to have that adjustability is huge.
Yeah. No, dude, it's a great setup.
Yeah,
I do love
great
the
idea.
other. What'd you call those pins?
So those are multi-indicator needles
Yeah, love those.
because you're indicating multiple yardage.
The mins.
It does make a lot of sense, actually.
Yeah, I just made that up on the fly.
That
too.
was good. I liked it.
What'd you call it?
Mins.
The mins.
I like that a lot.
Yeah.
I do. All right. We breaking.
It's got a good ring to it.
It does. So,
You call your people?
Yeah.
well, our people call your people. Frame color, obviously, ton of options. The void dial color, ton of options. What's cool, you can actually switch them out. And you guys are doing like small batches, which is badass. And we got some shit to talk about with that.
Yeah, we do.
We got some. You want to say it or can I say it?
You can say it.
We got some WCB void dial small batch stuff coming to you. We're
Almost to the finish line.
almost. We got some samples on the table.
What?
We can't show.
Eric's not here, so we should just solidify it.
Yeah.
Fuck
Yeah.
Eric.
Fuck Eric, dude.
Yeah. Why does he even have a say anyways?
Yeah, Eric is like, we need to change that. And I had to be the guy to be like, hey, Eric doesn't like this.
I know.
We're changing
and
this.
I'm trying to hunt, and meanwhile, we're having this conversation.
I like
I'm
it.
like,
Eric's just shitting on dial the whole time.
Yeah, dude. What
Such
the
an
hell?
asshole.
They
But-
doesn't show up.
That's exciting. Come on.
Yeah.
It'll be cool.
That's big news.
Hopefully.
It is. I mean, and that's kind of like the final, that's like the final piece to when like Dialed started and then Dialed and WCB came together. Like that was like the goal from day one, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like one of the first conversations we
Yeah.
had
And so
about it.
now, I mean, literally almost like a year later, we're finally
We're here.
making it happen.
Yeah. I think it'll be cool, man. It just adds another like thing of like customize. And what's cool too, if you have an Arxos, you can kind of collect these and switch them out when you want to switch them out.
I call them our mood rings. So like
Oh.
you can literally just, I mean, if you have multiple dials, you can just
Whoa.
swap them out depending on your mood.
I like
Customize it up. Or like
Yeah.
if you got, you shoot one bow, I don't know. Like Doug is always changing color bows.
Or even just colored fletchings, right?
know,
I
I
mean, it just anytime you change colors, you can change color dials.
I keep bothering Scott to send me colors. He's like, I'm not gonna send you a purple one. But
No,
did.
you won't do a purple? Oh,
He did
No,
though.
I did send them a purple, but it's always like the colors that we don't sell.
Oh, but the Malibu though.
Oh,
that one was, that one was a home run.
Do you have a Malibu one yet, Doug?
I don't.
He's shooting the trendy teal color from Elite, and that Malibu would look real gay on there.
I wanted to call it
good way.
Malibu, but I lost that battle.
I like the pun.
It is a very sharp looking dial.
I might have to get that one.
Yeah, it is cool looking.
What color frame you shooting on the trendy teal? Black with the
Black.
with Malibu?
Yeah.
Oh,
Fire.
come on with it.
Yep.
Well, dude,
I'm getting dialed thinking about it.
pull up the picture
I'm
of
fully dialed.
here.
Full dial.
Oh, he's fully. Oh.
Doug was all sad because he's not going to be in the catalog this year for Dialed, but it sounds like we're going to try and make that happen.
Yeah. Maybe a little like corner page or something.
I get it. You don't want someone too good looking on there.
Trying to
Doug used to have performance issues, and then he got dialed.
fully dialed.
Fully dialed.
Fully dialed.
All right, where's your? Is it in here?
0 to 100.
Trying to pull up your buck photos, Doug, with your. Oh, there we are.
I mean, look at that picture.
Yeah, well, there's not a single photo with. Oh yeah, there you are.
It's just the deer.
There's not a single photo with you in the picture.
Come on, that blue does look good.
Yeah.
Or was that purple?
No, that's
That's
blue.
blue.
Yeah, that's blue.
Come on, that looks good.
A little blood on the arrow.
What a season, Doug. You're killing
Look
it.
at us.
Look at us.
Fully dialed. Having a good time.
You guys are awesome.
Thanks, man.
Thanks.
We think so too. Well, so that's exciting.
I'm like
Man,
taking this all in just because I'm like, I don't.
You want to see it again?
Yeah, I don't even know what that would feel like.
Well, we can keep going through pictures if you want.
Yeah, I'll give you a sampler of Doug's season.
Oh, jeez, look at that.
Just a big old G2 on that sucker. Look at that guy. Look how big that deer looks in that photo.
Looks young though.
Yeah, killing tomorrow's trophy today.
Hey, somebody's got to do it.
All right.
How old do you think that deer was, Doug? 3?
I was gonna say 2, so you're being generous. That's an Iowa 2-year-old right there.
Yeah. I mean, come on, dude.
It's good
Those
pictures.
are those ones are the better ones are coming.
They just need cropped up. That's all. I'm
That's-
telling you,
that's a good
bro.
one.
You hate on my sitting Indian style photos. If you would have got down and sat Indian
I
style,
just don't.
and
You
got
got to sit
behind them,
lower. You got to
I
sit
can't
lower.
crisscross applesauce in it.
you
know?
can't
Put
do
your-
it. That's
then-
why you hate it.
Then tuck
I
one,
wish
tuck
that,
one leg
I wish the
underneath
grass
you
was in
and lay
that picture.
one.
That picture was money.
Doug, all right, I get shit. I sit Indian style and I take deer photos a lot. It's like my signature thing. And Doug hates them.
I can't do it.
Well, you can't do the pose, or you don't
I
like.
can do the pose. I just don't want to.
You don't like the way.
I
I like it
don't like
because it eliminates anyone saying you're long arming it, because you're literally sitting next to the deer. Like,
I do that all the time.
you got to. Well, like, look at this. Like,
Every time.
you can't say that I'm long arming this buck. One, because, well, I'm kind of long arming that one there. But like this, it's like I'm clearly just, he's next to me and I'm holding his chin.
Yeah, that's a good picture.
So that's why I like that photo.
Yeah.
It kind of eliminates that conversation. Now, like, we take multiple photos. That's well, I'm kind of more behind him. That's not really a long arm.
No, that's a good one.
But you know what I'm saying? See, like there, I'm just like, got my hands on my knee, and you can tell he's like within range. It's not like this
What's that?
exaggerated.
What was that thing attached to its antler?
That's called a tag.
Oh.
You need
Is
those.
that like a Iowa thing? Or
You got to have that.
in every state?
Some states. But yeah,
Oh, there's some dialed love right there.
there's some dialed love.
Yeah. And like, I mean, we offer, I mean, between our standard colors and like our small batch, like, I mean, we've only just scratched the surface. Like,
Oh,
as far as what we can do, like, we have some really cool shit coming.
What can't you do?
The only thing that's really hard for us is like hydro dipping. So we Cerakote everything, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's how we can get like colors to match and all that stuff. Like any custom color that we do, that's our own recipe. That is not a standard offering. Like that's us like
Made from dialed
in the
scratch.
lab, like mixing stuff to get it right. But we are starting to play around with some different hydro dipping like techniques to where we can start like we get a ton of requests for are we ever going to offer anything in like Sitka or Mossy Oak or Realtree
Or Huntworth.
or Huntworth, like any pattern? If there's a film available, we can get it.
A
But
Tarnan patterned Arxos would be sick as fuck.
we can do it. But that's what we're testing right now.
That'd be nice.
Is what components can we hydro dip that won't compromise like the function of the site. And so we actually just did our first test this week, and for the first run it was super successful.
Yeah.
So
Really?
that's going to open up a lot of doors as far as what we can offer in the future. Because I mean, you don't want to increase the tolerances, right? Because then you get slop in the slate and stuff. So that's why it is difficult. But like I said, this first attempt was super successful.
That's exciting.
Yep.
Just customizable options, and it's cool, dude. You want to have that.
Well, it just goes back to the whole like aesthetics of making it look like it's all one system,
Right.
And
That pink goes pretty hard.
but also allowing people to have their own unique look,
Yeah.
right? Like it's not just a cookie cutter setup. And I mean, for years it was always, we bought camo bows and then we just slapped all these black accessories on.
Yeah.
them. Like
Yeah.
I mean, that's been the
that was
standard.
That's what everybody did. Yeah.
I mean, that's been the standard for decades. So it's just trying to buck that trend, and again, getting it to just look like it's all one system.
Dude, I shot all blacked out frame, all blacked out dial, and I got more compliments on an all black riser
It's sharp looking.
on just the murdered out look.
It is.
Shit, I think Taylor even said something, was like, dude, that bow just looks good.
Yeah.
People want to look at it. I don't know.
That's always when people ask us, like, I got this new bow, like, what colors do you guys recommend for it? And it's, again, and if you're ever considering transferring, like accessories from like one bow to the next bow, black and black, it's a safe bet, but it's still it just looks badass.
But you can just switch out the void dial when you get another bow for whatever color, like Doug does.
Even like the blue dial with my blue bow, like you said, it just looks like it belongs there. Like it's part of the bow.
And it's unique to you, right?
Yeah.
I mean, Kurt doesn't have a black sight with a blue dial. Or, I mean, not many people do, so.
And not many people are shooting the bow
it just looks like
colors
it's
that Doug-
part of the bow.
So I love that Doug shoots these like different color bows all the time.
Dude, everybody was giving me shit about shooting a blue bow. Like, deer can see blue. And I was like, well, he didn't see it.
Yeah.
Hey, when you're that good, you got to look for reasons to make shit harder.
Yeah, I wanted
Yeah.
him to see me.
Yeah.
Yeah, Doug had a whole denim Dan jean
I didn't have any pants on.
Canadian tuxedo on when he shot that deer.
Was that on purpose or?
Nah.
You had a jean jacket and no pants on.
I mean,
It's whatever, dude.
I couldn't afford the pants. Just the jacket.
yeah. That or I was rushed and I had to sacrifice something, so I had to sacrifice my pants.
Yeah.
Sacrifice my pants.
Not my dial side, I know that.
It wasn't a pants party.
Okay, so we kind of broke down like the tape, and we got into the pen quite a bit, and just customizability, custom.
So between like, I would say the three like dominant features that like really set us apart is one, the customization part. So the aesthetics just in general, but then, the void dial system, having that oversized dial, having like
I
the
love
void
that, dude.
through it. I mean, it's a very recognizable sight. But
Was
then,
that hard to like come up with that? Because that's like the heart and soul of dialed, right? That's what your eye goes to that first.
Well, and it stemmed from, again, looking at like all the sites that we all have used in the past, and every other site, when you look at them, again, like they're great sites, but they're supposed to be, these durable hunting sites, but yet every single one of them has exposed gearing. And,
Yeah.
Some sites use, brass or aluminum or Delrin, which like we use Delrin for our internal components, but we also protect Delrin. It's like a souped up plastic.
Oh, okay.
And like, I don't like using the term plastic because it makes it sound cheap, and Delrin is not cheap.
Yeah.
But it's a glass filled nylon, and you can machine it, you can injection mold it, but it's super, super durable. Like it doesn't wear out. So you have the strength, but then you ditch the weight of like metal, right? And a lot of people like hear that and they're like, oh, like the site's plastic. And it's like, no, the site itself is not. Like the whole like structure and foundation of the site is machined aluminum, but we can use Delrin on our internal components because it's all protected. Nothing can get to them.
Yeah.
But if you're using any other material and the gears are exposed, they will wear out and they will fail. Like, it may take a while, but it will happen because I mean, as hunters, we're not like, you're not supposed to be easy on your equipment. Like, that's not what you're supposed to be worrying about.
You don't have to worry about babying it while you're trying to kill shit.
When you have exposed gearing and you get debris down in those gears, they will wear out. Like, it's just that it's the reality.
You know how many times on a hanging hunt that, like, a lot of times on a hanging hunt, I have like a retractable pull rope and I just hook my like little carabiner onto the top cam, and then I get up there and then I realize I got to like pull my bow through
brush and
all
stuff.
the wicker basket, and I'm like, get my bow stuck, and I'm just like mostly on my sight, and I'm pulling on the rope going, hopefully it's all right.
You know what that reminds me of? Because I literally just did this not too long ago. Like, did a hang and hunt system, which I'm not good at, but I got in this tree and my bow got jammed in these branches, and it was actually branches that I cut. I was too lazy to like move them, so I just let them hang on limbs. So I was pulling my bow up and it got stuck, and I was sitting there like, and it like, as you pull, it pulls back on you, right? And it reminded me, have you ever seen the movie The Great Outdoors with John Candy?
It's been a long time.
Okay, so for anybody that's seen it, like at the end of the movie, there's these two girls trapped in this cave, and John Candy throws this rope down into the cave, and this big brown bear grabs the rope, and he's like turning around pulling it, and he's like, I gotcha. Well, the bear yanks him, and he goes flying backwards. And as I was trying to pull my bow up the whole time, I'm like thinking of that, and I'm like, I'm gonna pull too hard, and this thing's gonna pull me right out of the tree. It's gonna fight back, right?
Yeah.
But that was the whole design of that void system, was getting the gears, getting all the important components that make the sight function, getting them internal and protecting them, but without making the sight look gaudy. Right. It was, I'm not going to say it was like extremely tough, but it definitely was a challenge, because, you know, trying to do that and make the mechanics work, but then also keep the look that we were going for. So yeah, it was hard, but, you know, we knew what it wanted to look like, so we just had to make it work. So the void dial system is definitely a dominant feature, but then the angled elevation rail is kind of what like the whole site is based off of.
Yeah, I feel like that throws a lot of people off.
And
that adds to the look too, though.
Yeah.
Well, and it freaks people out, because when you actually see it at work, you think something's wrong with the sight. Because what happens with the angled rail is, as you rotate the dial to further distances, the scope's not moving just straight up and down. It's actually coming down at an angle. So the scope housing is actually getting closer to your eye, which, if you can imagine taking like a 2-foot bar with a scope housing attached to it, you don't have any adjustments. And you start with the bar fully extended as far out as you can go. And let's say you're shooting at 20 yards, and every shot you move the bar in closer, like let's say a 1/2 inch to an inch. As you're moving the bar in closer, your arrows will start climbing the target. So that's what we're replicating. And so that's how we can extend your range without having to change your system, your setup. But what that makes your sight tape look like is, with most adjustable sights with a vertical rail, is as you go further in distance, your yardage marks get further apart on your tape. With ours, it's the exact opposite. So you'll see, like, between 20, 30, and 40, you'll see like this gap like getting larger, right? Well, then right about like 50 for most people, that's when you see the switch, and that's where the rail kicks in, and you'll actually have your marks get closer together. And then eventually they'll stall out, and they'll maintain that same gap all the way till you max out. So that's the whole design of that angled rail. So we can extend your range, but then we can also make the tape shorter, so you're not having to rotate the dial as far to gain yardage. So it's quicker yardage acquisition.
How did I skip over that rail before I was going to just move on to accessories?
How the hell did you figure that out?
A lot of work.
Like the math behind that.
Yeah.
Because you're an engineer, Doug.
I can't do that. Carry the 2.
Why didn't you hire Doug? Oh, yeah, that's why.
He
Sorry,
tried.
Doug.
We talked.
Did you guys talk?
We talked.
He didn't like my resume.
Not impressed.
It was literally crayons on a notebook paper.
Oh,
like,
Doug. He only can't read.
It was a bunch of stick figures.
I ran out of blue.
It was a bunch of stick.
Here's my degree.
It was a stick figure with a dude with a computer. Like, I'm an engineer.
Look at.
I made this.
Yeah.
Damn.
I saw this meme the other day that was like it cracked me up because like I love our engineers and I respect the shit out of engineers because I mean they come up with stuff that like I can think of ideas but I just don't know how to make them work. But it was literally a monkey working on a car motor, and it has a wrench and it's like backwards, and it's like an engineer trying to work on its own design, and it's so true though. And like again, I love our engineers, but like you know they create all this stuff in CAD, and they're like, yeah, it's gonna work. And then we get the parts and then we have to put them together and we're like, yeah, this isn't working.
Yeah.
And they're like, well, no, it should work. I'm like, well, you come put them together. And like, but so it made me laugh, but
it happens a lot.
Dude, that is so true. Cause my experience with that, like that would relate is like when I worked at John Deere, I worked in the testing lab and I worked for John Deere, like experimental was like basically the short name. So it's all shit that John Deere would actually have in production. Like, you know, say 5 years down the road or however long it took to like get through testing to go to production. So we would get same thing. We'd get parts that were designed on a computer and they had sent out and ordered. And then they show up in our lab and it's like, I did test lab stuff. So I'd have to like build the frame that was supposed to replicate whatever combine, part of the combine. And then the parts bolt to the frame. So it was designed down to the frame to replicate the combine. Then the experimental parts had to fit this frame that's not a combine, but it's supposed to be in place of a combine to run inside a testing room. So it's just holes where holes don't line up. Almost every time you're cutting and welding and, you know, whatever. It's part of the gig. But it's like, hey, dude, none of this shit fucking works. And then it's like that bolt can't come out of there because this fucking piece is in the way. So you got to hack this piece off just to get this bolt off to do maintenance on the fucking whatever it is.
like, or how many times, like the best example I can think of is like headlights on cars, right? Like anytime you go to replace a headlight, it's like, it's impossible. Or it's just anytime you try to replace a part on anything. And it's like, who the fuck designed this? And it's like, well, they never designed it because they didn't care, like, because they're not the ones working on them, right?
It looked good on the computer.
But but I will say though that was like a huge part of our learning curve, right? And so now after going through like this, now like okay, we know like we need like between the engineering team, the assembly team, production team, we need to have a lot more synergy between those groups, and they need to talk more like when it comes to designing the stuff. But yeah, I mean with the angled rail, it literally like it's never been done before. So it's one of those things where it's like, okay, like we're intelligent dudes, but we're not that intelligent, right? Like, I mean, we're all smart, but we're not that smart, right? So there's no way.
New Windsor's got Grand Theft Auto 5 going on here in town.
Probably a kitten stuck in a tree or something, but
we're shooting, no big deal. We've had a couple of those this year. It's been a rough year.
We should have. Never mind. But anyways, so yeah, we knew we wanted to try this, but yeah, there is a very specific positioning of that rail to where it'll work and it won't work.
Like the percentage of like incline or whatever
angle. Because if you have it angled too much, then it's too radical, right? And if you don't angle it enough, then it's not going to do shit. So trying to figure out that perfect angle, and that was just trial and error.
Man,
I like it though, dude. And I like that you're talking about it. But you guys have like, you know, optic light setups for the top of the housing.
The light kit was huge.
Which, God, that's attractive too.
Yep.
You made a light that looks good.
And that was, I mean, again, like we knew we wanted a light, but like we didn't want just another light like everybody else has. Like we wanted it to look very dialed and like, you know, it's not just a perpendicular light. Like the light is at an angle, so it matches the angle of the elevation rail. It matches the same angle as most bow risers. So it just, everything we do, it looks like it's supposed to be there, and it's a fit. Like
you guys like your angles.
We like our angles, yeah.
Offset scope arms.
So that's if you want to attach, like if you bought like a complete sight, but then you did want to put like a shrewd target scope on or something, that's what you would need to attach that. So it's very much a plug and play system.
Very cool. I didn't realize that I could get the yardage rings in different colors.
We just launched that.
So I didn't either.
Yep,
so you could color coordinate your arrow setups. I love that.
Yep, we just launched that not too long ago.
Black.
So the sight will come stock with white rings.
Yeah.
But then you can choose if you want green, yellow, orange, or red, or black.
I love everything about this.
It's a truly custom.
God, it's such a good idea. You guys got
Lens
sunshades,
You guys are killing it.
riser brackets, lenses. That's awesome.
The dial wrench, or for us, the bottle opener.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I opened those up out of these the new Void dials. I'm like, oh, look at that. I need to put a magnet on there so we can magnet to the fridge.
Yep. So the dial wrench is if you want to install a lens kit, or if you ever want to swap out the Void dials. That's what that is used for.
But it's also a bottle opener.
It's more importantly a bottle opener.
Yes.
And a very useful one. But at the same time, I also use twist offs. I don't believe in.
What's that bottom part?
Those
These?
are bow hangers.
Got one right there.
Yep.
Yeah, you like my rattling antlers?
That is
That's a half rack thing.
yeah, so that's TJ, our engineer. That's his company. So we did dialed branded hunter hangers.
Yeah,
they're actually honestly like they're
Oh,
pretty.
they are dialed, huh?
Yep.
Oh.
Yeah,
Nice.
we did custom dialed ones. But
Oh, shit.
that's actually so we use those in our shop all the time. But then you can actually use them like in your tree stand too.
Dude, I do love those. Dude, we need to get some WCB ones because, like, I just hand threaded that into our wall.
Yeah.
To hang these rattling antlers on there.
Yeah.
Like, that bow's hanging on them. We got them out in the studio.
Yeah, they're pretty cool.
They're
And
nice. Half rack makes some great bow hangers too.
Yeah, they do.
So, all right, let's talk about the dialed tape print kit.
Yeah.
Like, we need to get back on that.
Yeah.
Break it down, brother, because when
So-
I saw it at first, I was like, oh, what's going on?
What is this? What's going on?
What is this? Is it witchcraft?
Witchcraft.
What is
This is some witchcraft.
No, it's math, but
it? Same shit, really.
but it's math that you don't have to do.
Right, witchcraft.
Yeah. So
Witchcraft someone else did for me.
Every site will come with pre-printed yardage tapes that go out to 100 yards, but with any pre-printed yardage tape system, it doesn't matter whose they are. We're all generating our tapes off of our best guess, right? So for a lot of people, like they're familiar with like Archer's Advantage, right? Mm-hmm. But with a pre-printed tape, we're trying to build tapes for the masses, and it's not a custom tape built for you.
Yeah.
Like it'll get you a good tape, but for anybody that wants to take like their precision to the next level, or if they have kind of a different setup where they might be in between tapes, or they just want to extend their range, that's where the online tape builder comes in. And that's like one thing we get asked is like, why do your pre-printed tapes only go to 100? And the reason is because it's physically
Only.
Yeah. Well, so now with like the popularity of the tax and the mountain archery festivals and all that
That's
stuff,
true.
right? Where you're like, you don't have a shot like less than 90 on most of those shoots, but you cannot build an accurate tape long distance. It's impossible because the variables are too plentiful, and there's just too many like variables that we do not know, right? And so that's where our one engineer, Kyle, who has a ton of experience in aerodynamics and building like aero setups and stuff, you just like you're guessing, but your margin of error increases, right? So that's where the online tape builder, it's our own system. So again, because of our angled rail, we can't use like Archer Advantage or anything like that, because again, the further you go out, your marks are getting closer together, and that's not how any of those systems work. So with our online tape builder, what you do is you buy the print kit, and then you pay $10 for the subscription to the online tape builder, and that gets you unlimited uses, right? And it's an annual fee, so every year you pay the fee, but you get unlimited uses of the online tape builder. But then you collect all your own data. So the tape is only as good as the data that you collect. So you shoot in 10-yard increments from 20 as far out as you want to go. So let's say you want to build a tape to 130 yards. You have to shoot every 10 yards out to 130, because that's how you're gathering the real data for your setup.
Actually, what it is.
Right.
Yeah.
So you're using your setup tape that comes with the site to collect that data, and then you plug it in the 10-yard increments on the site tape builder. But then you can also select your color scheme of the tape. So like some people don't like all the multiple colors on the pre-printed tapes. They like a specific color scheme. Some people are colorblind, so they have to use like a red-green, scheme. But then you can also select the orientation of your yardage marks. So like with me being left-handed, it's not conducive for me to have the marks in the middle. I have to have the marks on the right side of the tape so I can see them better. So I can select that orientation on the tape builder. So you're building a custom tape for your
Full-blown
setup.
custom for you.
And then with the tape kit, you can now print your tapes at home with your home printer. So, and as long as you have, so the print kit will come with 2 sheets. So you basically can build 2 different tapes. It's a half page. So you get a top half and a bottom half. And then it'll print multiple tapes on there. So you can have extra tapes. But yeah, it's a truly custom, unique tape builder for your setup.
I love it, dude.
That's nuts.
Dude, you guys are killing it, man.
And
It's so
not only
fucking
tape
awesome.
builder, it's not just for our site. Like it'll work with anybody's site. The only difference is you have to use our setup tape because of the scaling.
Right,
So
that
not
makes
everybody's
sense.
test tapes are
But once
into the
the
same
data
scale.
is collected, then
doesn't-
it's whatever. Yeah, it's
so if you're running somebody else's site, you put our test tape on it, you collect your data, you can use our tape builder.
Shout out to Kyle. Genius.
I love it, dude. And you guys got great apparel and logo work.
Ooh,
and
I
that,
like that
uh,
sticker.
That Chief
this
Bucks,
one, we
yeah.
just got that one in. You can have it, Doug.
We just launched.
I get that tattooed on me.
those.
I haven't seen this one. Look at that shit.
Yeah, that's
Oh
kind
my
of
god,
our
it's a bird.
It's a raven,
It's a
dog.
raven.
Get with it, dude.
kick the hornet's nest.
I love it, dude. I love I love it all, dude. I just love it. It's fucking awesome. Yeah, that is sick.
I like that sweater too.
That might be my favorite
Need a hoodie.
thing
of that.
ever, dude, with the skull and the Dow logo right in the center of his forehead.
Yeah,
Dude, you guys are killing it, man. It's fucking cool to see, man. It really is. I'm proud of you guys.
I appreciate it. I mean, that means a lot just because it's been a long it's been a long journey, and I mean we've literally haven't even scratched the surface.
Oh, fuck. You got arrow wraps, bro, with that on it. Oh, dude, I'm in. I fucking love everything about it. I am. I'm really proud of you guys, man. It's so cool to see. What I love about it is like you're fucking everywhere, dude. Everyone's rocking a dialed sight. And what I like about it is like selfishly, I'm like, that's our boy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's our
Like
guy.
it's fucking cool.
Yep. Well, and it's funny because like when we started Dialed, like we were pretty careful like who we told, you know, because we didn't know. I mean, we had an idea, but it's like how's this going to be perceived because it was so new.
Yeah.
But like I remember when you and I first talked and being like, yeah, what have you been up to? And I sent you the link. You're like, you motherfucker.
Yeah.
Like I knew it, you know, and like a lot of people said that, like I fucking knew it. And it's like, yeah, you know, that's what I've been working on, or that's what we've been working on. But so it's been really cool to like see it come to light. But like, you know, you saying that we're everywhere, right? Like
You
we
guys
hear
are,
that
dude.
all the time, but it's like, oh, okay, like sure, you know, okay.
It's
But-
hard for you to see because you're in it, though.
well, it didn't really hit me until this year when I was guiding in Wyoming, and you know, between August, September, like archery season, the number of people we had come through camp that were rock and dialed. And I was like, okay, now it's real.
That's a nice
Did they
set
put-
you got there.
Did they put it together when they rolled in?
I didn't tell them.
Yeah, that's cool. That's cooler.
No, but I mean, like some found out, you know, like
Yeah.
and then it was, you know, it was pretty cool. But that's when it like hit me, like okay, like we are actually doing something.
Dude,
when
you guys
these
are.
these random fucking people from all over the country are coming in, and I'm seeing their systems. And then there was a group, and I wasn't guiding them. My buddy was, and he told them, like, you know,
Bragging
who I was
or
or whatever.
gassing
And-
you up, as the kids would
well,
say.
he like I think they were talking about like you know, what do your guides do in the off season or whatever. It was
Yeah.
like one of those conversations.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh yeah, Scott, like he's one of the owners of Dialed. And they're like, the site company. And then they'd get back, and then I'd get bombarded. Like, shit, like I didn't know. I'm like, yeah, you know. They're like, what are you doing out here? I'm like, trying to make some money.
Yeah, trying to make more money.
yeah, trying
Make
to
up for all the money that I lost.
yeah, but so no, it's pretty cool. And I mean, it's, you know, yes, like I mean, we can definitely, I mean, we see it every day just with like the sales numbers, and just we are growing so fast. But it's also, you know, all of us, like we're such perfectionists that everything we're doing right now, like you take the W's when you get them. And we like, grateful doesn't even explain like how we feel. But like, again, you haven't even seen anything yet. Like, we are literally just getting started. And up until this point, like, we've gotten through some really, really tough days. And there's going to be even tougher days coming forward. But knowing that we weathered those storms, now we know we can.
You're good.
We can take on everything. And that's where like that logo that you like, that's kind of like our mantra as like a company. Like,
It's like battle hardened.
yeah, I mean, we're calloused and, you know, but we also like, you kind of get our mentality, you know?
Yeah.
And,
Well, dude,
So-
what I like about it is like it's one, yeah, it like represents that, but I have like this like hybrid style of like BMX kid, metal kid,
yeah.
and then it's not, you don't see that like relation a lot in hunting, and so like when it comes in the archery realm, it's like it's like my vibe.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and
You
it's, I mean, you've met all of us, and that's like, we're kind of a melting pot, like, you know, and it's kind of like same, like with my personality, because like I came from a really like, you know, middle-class family. Like, I was just a normal white kid. Right. But deep down, it's like every day I just want to punch somebody in the face. Right. You know, so it's like, it's kind of that mix between, you know,
Berserker mode.
well, and it's kind of like, you know, having the two little dudes on your shoulder, like the nice guy and the evil dude, right? And we're kind of the blend of those two. So that's where that logo came from.
I love it, dude. I fucking love it. I told you that. I got one of the stickers from you guys. I'm like, dude, this right here is everything. And it's sick, dude. And then today I checked the mail, and there's a flag, a big ass dialed flag with that on. It's not on the website yet, is it?
No, which they should be really soon.
I feel honored.
I'm actually kind of surprised they're not.
By the way, that hoodie is one of my favorite hoodies ever.
It's so warm.
It's awesome. I've wore it for like.
Drinkware, we have more drinkware coming.
We had to get you on some Grizzly stuff, brother.
Yep.
And get you hooked up. You know anybody over at Grizzly?
Yeah.
Okay.
One of them may or may not be shooting our site.
Yeah,
Oh.
Isaac for sure is. Yeah, hell yeah, he is.
Heyo.
Yeah, we need to get some Grizzlies on there, dude. Some Grizzly cups. But that is sick though. You guys are killing it, dude. Just the look and functionality is just all right where it needs to be, dude. I couldn't be more proud of you guys. I'm excited to see what's coming, dude. I can't wait to keep rocking the site. I can't wait to deflate some lungs again this coming season. We've deflated a lot of lungs already this season.
Can't wait to look good with it.
Well, and I mean, the exciting part now is, I mean, we're almost a year into like our partnership, right? So like, you guys weren't really there in the beginning stages of this project, but now like going forward, like, and that's like the whole thing kind of with Dialed is like, whether it's our internal team, our external team, and by external team, I mean like you guys, our customers, like we don't take any of that shit lightly. Like, you're not like just a number to us. And like I said, like grateful doesn't even express like how thankful we are for everybody that has like supported us and has like been there for us and has also like put in input, right? Like we truly, like we listen to every like feedback that we get as long as it's constructive. Like if you're just being an asshole, I'm probably going to tell you to fuck off and go someplace else.
Don't troll just a troll. What
But, well, and first, I mean, that's just, you're not going to get anything from us.
No.
Like, we're, again, going back to that logo, like, that's just not who we are.
Yeah.
We'll go out of our way, bend over backwards to make sure we take care of everybody if you're worthy of it. Right?
Right.
Like, does that make sense?
Yeah, 100%.
You know?
Yeah.
So, but now that we have the foundation built, now these, like, partnerships that we're forming, that's just, it's all part of like that Dialed community that is just it's just gonna grow as we continue. So like
For sure.
like when I say like you haven't seen anything yet, like we've only just begun.
Well, I'm stoked for it, dude. And we've talked about this.
Fully dialed, thinking about it.
Full dialed, full dialed. This is what your third podcast.
That's gotta be. We gotta.
Yeah, we gotta think of something.
There's an Anchorman type skit in there somewhere. You know.
Like I can envision like a commercial where it's like a dude sitting on the edge of his bed and like his woman like consoling him, being like, "Hey, it's okay."
Then somebody comes in and tosses a void dial and it lands
yeah, and he's
fully dialed. String.
Oh, we got a commercial making.
it's like a horse.
in the making.
It's like
here.
a ringer for
Yeah.
a horseshoe.
Can we be in a dialed commercial one day in the future?
100%.
Okay. On record.
We will 100% make that happen.
You're saying it on record.
I will make sure it happens.
Okay. We'll come up.
We'll do like a WCB scooter video.
Yeah. Scooter rocking.
Yeah.
I'm in.
And I'll be in the fully dialed one.
Okay. Yeah, that's happening.
The room's spinning with all the possibilities.
I was gonna. So
Silly
like,
roof rack, too.
this is your third podcast as dialed, right? Second? I thought we've done. This would be the third one.
I think it's the second.
I think it's the second. First one was first time I ever came here. I saw your studio for the first time.
And Eric, and Eric ate the chip.
And then when Eric ate the chip, that was two.
No, that was the same
the
time.
same one.
Oh, it was. That's right, because we were having the conversation about how have you never been here?
No,
Yeah.
I'd never been to this studio, but
Because he was busy.
You were at the one at my house.
Yep.
And then the one before that. Did you came to the first studio, right?
No, you guys went there.
Huh?
You went there.
Oh, we would go up and see
went
you
to
in
him.
Wisconsin, yeah.
yeah, that's when you came to my Christmas party.
That's right. Yeah.
I
And we
didn't-
had Steve with us, dude.
and
We
I
brought
didn't
Steve
go.
to your house, bro. You weren't even in the crew at that point, were you?
I think I kind of was, but like not to where like.
Not officially.
Yeah.
Yeah, you
That's crazy to
You
think
missed
about.
an epic weekend.
I heard.
Well,
That was
what
one-
I was
that
getting
was
at
one
I
is
still hear about it.
That was one for the books.
we've referenced how long we've had like a friendship and like a business relationship, but it's been since 2016.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and we talked about this on the last podcast. Like that's, I mean, to me, that's like the coolest part about this whole like deal is, like I was there when you guys were just first getting going, right?
Yeah.
And then coming here and seeing all this shit, like, and the stuff that you guys have accomplished. I mean, that's like next level, right? But now you're in that spot, like watching us. So it's almost like the roles have reversed. But yet now we're building
Together,
right?
it's so fucking cool, dude.
That's like
It's so cool.
they're gonna make a movie about this.
Netflix,
I don't know who will make it, but
Netflix documentary.
yeah, it'd be a docu-series,
It'll be like The Notebook, but
gayer.
or maybe
I don't. Yeah, they'll make a documentary about it one day.
it'll probably net more at the box office than that movie did.
Yeah, probably for sure.
We could probably get Ryan Gosling.
It'll just be called Fully Dialed.
We'll get Ryan Gosling to play Doug.
Oh, good move with the mustache. Mm-hmm. He's got like a glued on. There was a low budget film, so they
It's
had
like hanging off on one
Yeah,
side.
yeah. You can
No,
see
we
as the
need,
movie progresses, just like the glue's just giving in.
We need someone with a better mustache than Ryan Gosling.
Well, it's Hollywood; they can do anything.
Yeah,
No, you're right.
Yeah. Who? If you had to pick one person to play you in a documentary, a docu-series, who would it
Ooh,
be?
that's a tough question.
I don't know actors' names, so I'm out of this.
I'm trying to think of a guy that had a really.
If they're not in
mustache
Marvel movies,
recently.
I don't know who they are.
I haven't watched a fucking movie.
I don't know the guy's name that played Superman recently, but I think he had a really good mustache in one movie.
Yep, don't know.
Yeah, that guy.
And he's like looks like me kind of. So.
Dude, Will Ferrell with his Anchorman mustache.
Oh. Oh no, Paul Rudd.
Yeah,
I
don't know.
The other guy that had the mustache in the Anchorman.
yep. He was the sports broadcast.
No.
He was the weatherman.
That's my
Weatherman, the
favorite
Weatherman.
character ever, dude. I miss you. I want to be with you.
No, that's
Him?
Champ.
That's
We're
Champ.
the
Fuck.
Weatherman is the one I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Oh, I've get
Oh
them
no,
all
it was
mixed up.
Brick the weatherman.
Oh fuck.
Here we are. We don't know what we're talking about.
Yeah. All right. Well, we have some work to
Yeah.
do.
Here.
You know what I'm talking about.
Anchorman cast. We got it. This is good. Anchorman's a great fucking movie.
Oh, it never gets old.
Oh, I want fucking here. Here they are. Him?
Yeah.
Yeah. What? Who is that guy?
Paul Rudd.
Okay. Yeah. That's a good must. Will Ferrell's the man, dude.
Yeah. I feel like he would play either you or Eric really well.
Him or Anchorman?
Yeah.
Or
Will Ferrell.
I feel
Ferrell,
like Paul
mean.
Rudd almost. I mean, he resembles me more.
Yeah.
Yeah, he could rock that. He'd have to trim
Or,
his,
since Eric's not here,
He's the guy.
brick.
I think he's brick.
Yeah.
Especially if you listen to the last podcast we did, he was 100.
Oh, 1000%
He was
brick.
full blown brick.
God, it's all coming back to me. Yeah, Eric was so trash. So for people who didn't listen to that, that's when Eric ate the Pacquiao chip from last year's bet.
And he was washing it down with Captain and Coke.
This dude drank 10 rum and cokes in 3 minutes.
That was
And then we
great.
went to dinner, and he continued to drink rum and cokes. And then we came back, and
He ate cottage cheese because that's all he could eat.
oh, that's
how
right.
fucked up.
But
it
I
was.
remember the comments. The only comments to that episode were like, they thought it was, I think, me or you. People were getting them mixed up that like didn't really listen like a lot. Because everything you would say, Eric would be like, "Hell yeah, brother!"
Dude, Eric would just repeat it.
or then he would try to like
Chime in, but like with no information.
yeah, like relate to
Yeah.
it, and he would try to like make an analogy to
And
it.
we're all
I'd
just
be
like-
that makes zero sense.
Well, I was
Yeah.
like, look at him, like,
He was kind of
and then we
just.
just move on.
It was great. I remember.
I think I drank more during that podcast just so I could try to understand him more. I was
don't-
trying to get on his level.
But you know what's funny? I must have been drinking pretty heavily too, because like, in the moment, I don't remember being like, "Damn, dude."
Oh, I was like, the whole time, I was like, right away, I was like,
Yeesh.
I just love how Scott, like, look at him, like, let him answer and, like, say his whole spiel, and then he just goes, and just turns back to you and, like, waits for you to start talking.
Well, dude, you gotta think that's probably the drunkest Eric's ever been on a podcast.
Yeah, probably.
Just because that chip fucked him. Yeah, we should have ate that chip at the end of the night.
Who did he do that chip with?
One of the boys that worked at Novix, and then
Oh, yeah.
there was another. Who else ate it with them? Didn't somebody else eat
Well,
it
there
with
was
them?
there was
think
two
Clint
that were
did, didn't he?
there was two that were part of the challenge that night, and then like later
Was
on,
Steve here?
No,
Steve did eat the chip, though, at one point.
Yeah, Steve. I
Clint
made
did,
him
too.
Clint ate it here, didn't he?
Yeah.
yeah, but that wasn't that night.
I made Steve eat the chip at the shoot after party, and he just did it. Like he didn't even fight it. I was like, "Hey, you're eating this," and he ate it. I'm like, "Well, I was okay." Well, yeah, I don't remember. I thought somebody else ate it with them.
No, I think it was just those two.
It was
and
those
then,
two, yeah.
And then after dinner, when we were here just hanging out, I think somebody ate one.
Oh yeah, probably. That's
I don't know. After dinner, that's where it gets a little fuzzy.
yeah, that's hilarious. Okay, so that was the last episode.
yeah. That
the
was
last episode.
That was. I think that was February, if I remember correctly.
Maybe Eric was
Yeah.
just too embarrassed to show up.
He just thought he's gonna have to eat another chip. That's what I think.
Yeah,
It's hilarious.
He was intimidated, which I get.
Understandable.
I understand it too.
Yeah.
Well, dialedarchery.com. You can use code working class, save yourself on shipping, and look for the WCB themed void dial small batch come in real soon.
Very soon.
This episode launches from time maybe 3 weeks or more.
We'll have it ready by the time this episode
Okay.
launches.
Yeah, we got time, but yeah, it'll be ready. And what's kind of cool, I like that it changed from these because we have these. Mm-hmm. Do you know what I mean? Like those are one of a kind right
They're
there.
the one of a kind.
Yep.
You know, it's not going to change too much, but those are sick and they're one of a kind. That makes it cool.
Yep.
And that's what's cool about all like the small batch stuff. It's like mood rings, baby. Get what you're feeling like.
Yep. And that's, I mean, so
Pokemon cards. Got to
you-
collect them all.
It kind of is. I mean, honestly, but like
Give me a holographic
with the
one.
small batch, like it is a small batch, so it's limited quantities. They only go on sale for 4 days. So after those 4 days, then you have to wait till the next round.
Dude, you know what we need? We need to get like a baseball display case with a stand and get one of them put in there and like put it in the studio.
Like Iron Man's core. Like,
Ooh,
Yeah.
yeah.
that'd be cool.
Oh, what's those? Do you ever seen those things that you can like? People like shoe collectors get and put the magnet in the heel of the shoe and it spins. It looks like it's floating. You ever seen those?
No, I don't collect shoes. So
Well, it's like a display thing. So it's like whatever you're displaying
Yeah,
floats
yeah.
and spins.
It spins.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ooh,
I
that'd
don't
be
think
kinda
I've
cool.
bought a new pair of shoes in probably like 5 years.
It's just not just shoes.
Dude, I wear flat Vans. It's like I'm an adult. I'm still wearing Vans.
I'm literally either in like Kenetreks or probably these, to be honest.
What are you rocking now? Let's talk about our kicks.
These are Boot Campaign Ultimas.
Are those
So
like the?
shout out to Boot Campaign.
They look like Converse, but they're like durable.
yeah,
I think Eric rocks those from time
yeah,
to
they're
time.
maritime shoes, so you can like swim in them and shit.
They comfortable?
Super comfortable.
Dude, I just got a pair of Solomons from Black Ovis.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a fan.
Yeah, huge fan. They're they Speed Tracks. I think is the name of them.
Ultra. What am I rocking?
Anyways, yeah, they're dope shoes.
They're awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Come on, give me a pair of them.
Ross always rocks them, and then Devin
you
out
rather wear
west
those or
always
the-
wears them in Utah. He hunts them.
I love these.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll have to look into those, man. I burn through Vans pretty quick.
I need a good trade show shoe. That's comfortable.
Don't wear Vans.
No.
Vans are the worst trade. They're flat.
Yeah,
I'll probably wear my
Hey
solid.
Dudes
Honestly,
really cut it.
Honestly, probably the best trade show shoes are like Dudes or Crocs, to be honest.
Crocs are.
Oh, all right.
I've never given into the Hey Dude craze.
I'm like, I wouldn't say I'm like, I own one pair of Hey Dudes, and the whole reason I bought them is because when I was guiding, my boots were just like tearing the shit out of my feet because you live in them for so long. So I had to get something to like
Give your feet a rest.
Yeah, and I wouldn't say I'm like a fan, but I appreciate them.
If they make blacked out Hey Dudes
They do make black
with the dialed skull on the tops, I'm in. Then I'll get Hey Dudes or that Raven.
You want a fun fact?
Come on, that'd be sick.
Have you ever seen? You're not on Instagram, are you?
Never heard of her.
But
Don't know her.
I have a Doug and Dogs page, and Hey Dudes reached out to me.
So you have a contact at Hey Dudes?
Yeah.
Oh, well, hold on. Did they reach back out to you?
No, they didn't.
They teased you?
Yeah, they teased me.
They reached out to you, then you're like, oh, hey,
So if anyone from Hey Dudes listening to this,
fuck you.
get back to me.
Oh, I mean, get back to us.
And give
I
me more
guarantee
shoes.
you nobody from Hey Dudes is listening to this.
You don't know that.
Don't underestimate us,
Yeah.
Scott.
I'm putting it out there to the universe.
Oh, you
'Cause
think
now
you think they're liberals?
No, I think now
Just checking.
now they are going to listen to it because I just said it.
Maybe.
Yeah, and get back to me so I
reverse
get free
psychology.
shoes.
I've always been a Hey Dudes, like, I'm not going to give in, but
But if I give you a
Well,
pair,
and the thing is like
maybe.
because of
WCB logo.
me and my dogs.
I think it's kind of like I never went nuts deep on the whole Crocs thing because, again, I appreciate Crocs and Hey Dudes. Like, I think they're awesome, but you see certain people like wearing Crocs and you see certain people wearing Hey Dudes, and you're like, yeah, I don't want to.
Well, you get the douchiest of the douchebags wearing Hey Dudes, and you get just like Walmart people wearing Crocs. It's like,
but they're not like the real Crocs.
yeah, they're the Walmart Crocs.
Right.
I
Which
wear
is like,
both.
You got Walmart Crocs?
No, the Hey Dudes and Crocs.
Yeah, I mean, it
What does that make me?
confused.
Yeah.
Damn.
Gay. Jordan and I picked up some fresh
Bi-curious.
Crocs and like, yeah,
Buy shoe.
yeah, gay feet. Dog.
Buy shoe curious.
Jordan and I picked up some fresh pairs of Crocs with the adjustable straps. We were at a Sportsman's Warehouse because I didn't have like, you need like camp shoes,
Yeah.
you know?
Oh, yeah.
Get out of your boots, like we were saying.
Something to slip into.
And my Crocs were just like, I had like thorns in the bottom of them, so I could kind of feel it every time. I wore out some Crocs. So they're expensive. Crocs now, like $60.
Yeah.
Buy once, cry once.
What's up?
We got the fancy ones.
Yeah, we got adjustable.
Yeah, you guys get the fancy ones.
They're nice though.
Yeah, those are the 4-wheel drive ones.
4-wheel drive ones. But pro tip, I have a Ram truck with Ram boxes, and I just kept them babies in that Ram box. And then when I get done hunting, I take them off, throw my boots in the Ram boxes so they don't get water in them or anything. Throw them Crocs on, ready to rock.
I hunted in my Crocs one time because I forgot my boots.
I did too.
Hey, as long as it's not cold.
No, it actually really sucks trying to climb up a tree stand though. With
Yeah,
Crocs.
you feel every step.
There's no like
Structure.
shake-
Just right through it.
Yeah.
It's just foam.
Your
Like kids'
feet,
water.
your feet literally just like wrap around each step. It's like super uncomfortable. It's like walking on rocks with bare feet.
Yeah.
And you can't stand on your. You gotta sit the whole time until you're ready to stand.
Yeah, that's a good point.
That, and then I was sitting there, I wasn't seeing anything, and I was like fucking around with my Crocs, and the one fell off.
Oh no!
And I was like, well, I think it's probably time just to go home.
Just falls off.
Son of a bitch.
You'll have that on the big.
And now that I think about it, it's like no wonder why I haven't killed a whitetail in like 5 years.
It's funny. It all came to light at the end here.
Yeah,
Falls off, lands in a tree.
Light bulb goes on.
Oh, fuck. This was fun, dude. I'm proud of you.
I love coming down here.
Well, we're going to do a Patreon
We love
Live.
you coming here.
I have no clue what that means, but I'm excited.
It's a private podcast for our private community. Supports us on Patreon. It's our listeners that go a step further to support what we do, and then we give them some exclusive content in exchange.
Hell yeah.
Non-new.
They're the real
exclusive
homies.
Content.
Yeah.
So, the real homies, the one percenters.
Let's get exclusive.
Let's get exclusive.
Let's
Non-new.
drop some Crocs.
Okay, easy.
all
All right.
right.
Where can people find you guys, Scott?
Just dialedarchery.com, and social media is just dialed archery. But, so for somebody that's not on social media, I'm learning a lot about how many pieces of shit there are on social media that
Yes.
try to like create fake accounts. So it's dialed archery with 1 R in archery, not 2 R's.
Okay.
That's how they try getting you.
Oh, we get some Indonesian accounts pop up every trade show season for us. But it's all good. It means you're doing something. Yeah, dialarchery.com. Use that code working class, save some money on shipping, and then look for these custom WCB void dials coming real soon.
So we'll communicate with that. Like when they are ready, we'll blow that shit up.
We'll try and map it right around the launch of this. That'll work good.
Yeah. I mean, we'll 100% have them ready by
cool. Thanks, buddy.
Thank you guys.
Doug, good to see you.
Thank you guys for seeing me.
Thanks for seeing me.
Thank you for seeing me for who I am.
Thanks for coming.
Yeah.
I always
right.
appreciate when you come here.
Let's get out of here.
Yep.
Thanks, everybody. You know what to do. Go shoot your bow. We love you. Peace.